my art took on an important meaning to me. And so when I got the Star Commonwealth for Boys, I accumulated a lot of different things, a lot, better things to work with. And the house mother mom nation, now she was a tyrant. I mean, she really did not like me personally, and it was in her mind to stop me from doing what I was doing. And she wanted to. She set out to do it. And so she told me, "You're going to see a psychiatrist," because they thought my physiognomy pieces were mentally disturbed or something. She did. She thought it. But and she said, "You're always isolated, and you think you're better than everybody. You're just a street urchin, right? You're a court case, and I don't even know why you're in this school." All these other boys, their parents paid a lot of money for them to be running around here, and I was the only court case in the whole school with 387 boys. But it was one of the most important periods of my life. In this place, they let you go home for Christmas vacation and on your birthday. I had 2 weeks for my birthday and 2 weeks for Christmas. So I had a whole month out home. I spent my every day in the library. At any rate, when I was home for Christmas, I had one present underneath the Christmas tree at my aunt and uncle's house. And it was a big kind of, and I thought, everybody else had a bunch of presents. I had one. I was sad about that. That kind of worried me. But when I opened that up, all of my aunt and uncle and my mother pitched together their money and bought me a box full of oil paint, a linseed oil, paint brushes, and about 6, canvas boards, just little ones in the box. And it was a professional artist box. I was in heaven. I went right downstairs and tried to paint a picture and made mud. I made straight mud. And anyway, but I was thrilled. I have all this paint. And when we got back to Star Commonwealth for Boys, I literally went to the wood shop and made an easel. I had a problem with the house mother, and she made me quit painting, made me quit drawing. Every day I wanted to, and she made me, "No, you can't anymore until you see the psychiatrist." So they set it up for me to go to Ypsilanti, Michigan, and see the leading one child psychiatrist, Dr. Ralph Rubenovich. And I had to see him, and I was really, really worried. I thought maybe I might be crazy. I don't know what crazy is. I didn't have that knowledge. But this guy was animated. He was a trip, man. He had this black and gray hair. He looked like the mad scientist. And I instantly connected with him, and he connected with me. But I think he was that good. He could do that with anybody. He was just personable and made you feel comfortable. Don't be nervous. You're not that crazy, are you? He would make jokes to make you relax. And when he says, "What is it? What's your story?" And when I told him about my art, and I told him what I was doing, and my house mother thinks something's wrong with me, and this, that, and he says, "Well, do you have an example of your work?" I did. They made me take all that stuff to show him that I did. And he's looking at it, and I don't know what he's thinking. I'm looking at him, and he's intense. He's intent. And he says, "These are marvelous." I said, "You don't think I'm crazy?" He says, "You're not crazy. You're gifted." And he says, "Would you paint me a picture today?" He says, "I'll even pay you for it." And I said, "Absolutely." He says, he put me in this room and had a bunch of oil paint, had a lot of stuff in there. It was around the Christmas time, and he said, "Show me what you feel about Christmas." That's what he said. "Can you express what you feel about Christmas?" And I thought about that for a minute. I can do that. So what I did is I painted a holly like this. See, and then the berries. And these were red. It looks something like this. Just like that. And this was green. These were green, and this was kind of a gray-white, getting whiter, darker at the bottom. And he gave me $25 for it. So when I got back, she says, "You can't paint until the doctor's recommendation comes back." As I know, what he wrote, he told the school that it would be criminal to do anything at all to preclude this man from developing his gift, his talent, his art. he encouraged me, he inspired me, he just opened the door for wonderful things for me with his opinion about me. When that recommendation came back and she read it, she was upset and they transferred me. She transferred me out of that unit and I went to Newton Hall. And Mr. Bell, the dean of boys, called me to his office. He says, you know, I've got a copy of this. And he says, every time I go to pick up a truant, a boy, because the guys run away all the time, and then he'd have to go pick him up. I'm going to take you with me, and we're going to go to museums. I got a life of museums. When we went to Toledo, Ohio, we went to that museum in Toledo, Ohio. It was the first museum I saw of Van Gogh. I stood in front of Van Gogh, and I'm telling you what, it was, for me, breathtaking. Breathtaking.